Hello everyone, welcome back. I am back playing this game, and last time we built the turbo motor factory and we completed the blueprints. So now I wanted to build the train network throughout this entire map. And so I have been busy. Um, so first, so I was not expecting how difficult it would be to just build a train station. And this main train station that I built will facilitate just one thing in this entire world, which is bringing materials for space elevator parts. So that was my next huge project. But in order to build my space elevator factory over here, I wanted to bring materials and I wanted to set it up. So for that, I wanted to make the train station. But I was not expecting how difficult it would be or how time consuming it would be. And this itself, it took more than a week just getting things done. I did use some blueprints for some of the things, but all in all, most like especially the train station was done completely manual. But yeah, so this is my train station and it's looking awesome. I am really liking this. Um, this looks exactly as I wanted. So I wanted this train station to be sort of like a dominant thing right next to my space elevator factory. But the thing is, the space elevator factory will go up till like, I don't know, multi-floor, because there'll be a lot of things going on over here. So it will actually cover this train station when looking from over here. But from the side and stuff, I still wanted this thing to look dominant. So yeah, and it's looking pretty nice. And I did plan a lot of stuff to make sure the train station is functional. Yeah, and I don't have to worry too much once I set this up. So I'll be going through that today. So yeah, with that being said, let's just go through the train station. So this is the train station. So I want it to actually be somewhat like physically functional. So I gave it sort of like a metal vibration dampener over here, because train stations are cause extreme vibration, especially when multiple trains come into the station at once and stuff. So I gave it sort of like I wanted it to look cool, but at the same time I wanted it to be physically functional. So sort of like a metal dampener, which is looking nice. And it has like these pillars which are not symmetric exactly. It's perfectly like maintaining the weight, and it's mainly positioned where the most weight of this entire factory lies. So it sort of makes sense. Of course, there are no calculations to this. You just have to take my word on it. But yeah, it looks nice. That's the main thing. It completely, it's really looking dominant and it's looking nice. With that being said, so there are like 10 train stations over here. So each one of these, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there is 5 over there. Now there is one thing which I wanted to make sure. I wanted to make this future proof, meaning that in the future, if all these 10 train stations are filled, I wanted to leave space for the next train station. So for that reason, I won't be building any factories over here. So this is my expansion area. Like if I wish to expand this, I have unlimited space in this direction to expand. Specifically for like one train station, I can easily expand. For multi-train stations, still I can expand. That's totally fine. I have all the space in the world, so I can do that. So that's perfect. That's the reason I started all the way from the edge over here. So it makes sense. And then I put one train station and like 4 freight platforms. That's sort of like the ratio which works best. One train station, one of these, what is called, electric locomotive, can actually carry like 4 freight cars, or 4 freight cars at maximum speed, I think. For 8 freight cars, you need like 2 and something like that. There is some calculation like that. I did not do that. I just took it from somewhere online, or so, I don't know. I just remember it from early access days, and I think it's the same. So I just made that. So one train station has 4 freight platforms, and it's perfect. And I'm doing a right lane drive. So the train comes in this direction, and it comes on the right side part, and it goes into the train station. So with that being said, so all of this, for example, if I just take a path signal, you can see it's all split into proper paths. I have put in proper path signals and even block signals everywhere that's necessary. So it's looking good. So there are a couple of things like tips and tricks that you need to do in order to make sure the putting the path signals and block signals are easy. I did not find much difficulty in building like putting path signals and stuff, but I know some people do. So let me just go through that very quickly. So one thing to keep in mind is that whenever you do a train station, like whenever you put in a rail network like this, let me do it. Yeah, like this. So it can only have two outputs or two inputs, meaning that if you assume like this is the a train section, now this is the input to this path of the rail network and this is the output. So this can have only two outputs. It cannot have more like it can have like that, like three outputs, but it can only have outputs. Like it cannot have an input over here, meaning I cannot connect another network like from here connecting like that. Like that's not possible. At one junction, you can only have multi-network on one side. So here, for example, it's at the output end. So you can only have that at the output end. And you can have a maximum of 3, which is perfect. Now at the input side, it's the same thing. You can have a maximum of 3. So in one junction, you can only have either input, like multi-input, or multi-output. So you cannot have from the same junction multi-input and multi-output. So this is one of the things which some people find really difficult while building trains, because sometimes when you do not plan on leaving this sort of like a small place over here in order to connect the network. Like for example, there is an input, like 2 inputs, that's being connected to 2 outputs. Now if I had not left this junction, like the small 1.5 tile path, I would not be able to connect this. So that is something that you need to plan, like when building train networks, like the length and stuff. If not, you'll have to break down everything and rebuild it. But yeah, so this is the most simplest things, and which people find difficult, at least until they learn that. Once they learn that, it's easy. But yeah. And then with path signals and block signals, it's actually extremely simple. So just place a path signal at the beginning of a junction. Like so if you assume the train is coming from here, now there are 2 paths. So just put a path signal. That's it. Now where path ends, you can just put a block signal. Now the other path is straight, so come straight, put a block signal. So yeah, so once the block signal is done, now there are like 2 different paths, and then again there is a block signal at the end of it. So now here there is a path signal, and again there is a block signal. Now here you can put another path signal and that will act as block signal, but I did not want to do that. I just put it as it is. Now there wasn't enough space here for me to put a block signal here and a path signal over here. That's the reason this junction is not perfect. As you can see, I wanted this yellow color junction to be the whole thing, but that's not the case. It's fine. The main reason being that, yeah, once I put a block signal here, I was not able to put a path signal over there because of small distance. But yeah, but in the simplest terms, whenever there's a junction, just put a path signal. And once you come out of that junction and it goes straight, just put a block signal. So, and that will make sure everything is perfect. And you don't have to worry about anything. It's extremely simple. Yeah. And also I always advise people to use multi-path, like dual paths like this, like one path for one-way direction and the other path for the other way. I do not recommend two-way routes through trains because you will have to account for contingencies, plans, and stuff. Unless there are only 2 train stations at point A and point B, and you just want to connect like one train to that, then yeah, sure. But if there are multiple trains running on it, then no. Then I always advise to use like separate trains, rail system for one-way travel. So with that being said, this entire thing was built without blueprints. I did not use blueprints. But yeah, but once that is done, I wanted to connect this train network throughout the world. Right now I have connected to parts of the world. There is still a lot of work that I need to do. Like for example, if I Yes. So for example, my train station is over here. From here, I have connected all the way to the red forest. I have connected parts of it to over here, this biome, the green biome. But I still am yet to connect it to all the way to the left, to the desert area, to the swamp, like, and even to this, there are some oil nodes over here. So there are lots of places that I still need to connect. But for now, I just have connected it to the red forest, so it has gone. I wanted to take this through the waterfall, so I was successful in doing that, but I will admit the curves do not look that beautiful. I was not able to make the curves perfect, so it doesn't look that great, but still it's there are supports throughout. I did not want to go through this abyss like just straight or make a huge ramp, and I did not want to take it through that. It'll just look unrealistic. So I wanted to go around the terrain, use terrain, and have supports throughout and go around there. There are still parts of it which is not done, like the supports and stuff. I am still yet to do, but yeah. So that is it. And from here, I put a massive junction here so that one path goes to the red forest, the other path just comes down here. And from here, I wanted to go through using the natural pathways in this biome. The natural pathways in this biome are really nice. So I wanted to, so there is a neat circular pathway and it goes down. And then the trains come here. And from here, there are some junctions, I'll say. It was not easy making this, but yeah. And from here, it actually connects to a train station over here. And this was the original plan I had initially, to make the entire train station, basically what is over there, over here, and get every single item in this one single train station from there to here. So basically what I had in mind was there would be 12 freight platform with just a single train, and the 12 freight platforms would drop like 12 materials. But after looking through the numbers and stuff, I found out 12 stations would not be enough to bring necessary resources. I need so much iron, so much copper, and everything. Like 12, like it's just not enough. I am afraid that station will not be enough. So 12 stations will like 12 freight platforms is definitely not enough. But it would have looked really cool, like materials coming from down here all the way up through the canyon, and me at my base looking through all of that. Like train will come here, drop it off, and go. It would have looked cool. But again, there's another issue with that, which is the throughput. So if there is only one train, it will have to go all around my world in order to bring the necessary resources. And in order to make this one entire trip, it would probably take like an hour in real time for it to get all the resources, because all those freight platforms need to get full, right? So yeah, the throughput would be really, really bad. Or I need to have multiple trains in order to get proper throughput, which is possible. I can have multiple trains and that would be fine. But yeah, but the number of freight trains would just not be enough. So I just left it out. But I still wanted to use this idea. I still wanted some station over here to look good. And honestly, the trains going through here, it actually looks really nice. I just drove through the entire world manually and it was awesome. So this train station serves only one purpose, which is to bring Sam from the entire world. So Sam is present, scattered all throughout the world. I need a dedicated place to bring everything, and this train does only that. And all of these four stations does just one single task, which is to bring Sam from throughout the world. So it'll bring here, it'll drop off, and it'll go away and bring the next resource. And all the SAM will get accumulated over here. And here will be, this floor is a SAM processing floor. And here I will be doing everything related to SAM, and that will look nice. So my actual base will also be busy and chaotic and it'll look nice. So yeah, so that's the plan. And then the train paths continue to diverge, like multiple complex intersections. By the way, this height is perfect. Like a train can perfectly pass through this without clipping or anything. Like it'll barely miss it. So I just made sure of that. And then yeah, so there is one pathway which goes over there, the other pathway which goes over there. And if you see all of these complex intersections, the reason behind this is I wanted any train to go anywhere from any direction. I did not want trains to take a longer route than necessary to reach the desired place. Meaning, so the trains here come in this direction. So the train comes here. Okay. So from here, the train should be able to go in that direction, or go back. It should be able to do all of that. So that's what this is doing. So first, it'll go in this direction. Perfect. But what if it wants to go onto this rail system? Then it'll go all the way over here, do a turnaround, and go back into this rail network. Also, you need to keep in mind this is a one-way rail, so it's only one direction. So that's the reason there are two connections over here in the appropriate directions. Now, what if it wants to go straight? So then it'll come here, and then there is this rail network which goes all the way over here and goes straight. And then there is this pathway which makes a turnabout, comes here, makes this pathway, and goes about in the reverse direction. So it goes in that direction. So which is perfect. So it's able to go in that direction, go in this direction, or go in this direction. And it's able to go in this direction in two different ways. Either it can come here, take a roundabout and go onto that trail, or it can come here, take this roundabout and go onto that trail. It can do either. Honestly, I think it'll only take this one. If it wants to go back, it'll only take this network because that's the shortest path. That's how I think it's coded, but I am not sure. But yeah, so that's the reason it's a little bit complex. But yeah, and then from here it starts going into the biome, and from here it starts going back and connecting back to the station. So, and there is a junction over here. From here it goes back to my oil factory, my plastic factory, and everywhere. So it'll go there. So, and as I mentioned, I wanted to use the natural biome system to use my rail network. I think it'll look nice, but also I don't think I'll stick to that throughout my world. Parts of it I'll make, I'll use blueprints. Parts of it I'll put it on the ground. So yeah, so it depends. And the reason behind that is, so there are pros and cons to using natural pathways. The pros being it's easy to set up. You can easily put rail systems on the pathway, and it clips perfectly. It'll be on the ground, and it'll look really nice. And when you're traveling through it, scenery will look good. Everything is nice. But the cons of it is, it takes a very roundabout path to reach your desired destination. Like for example, from this train station, if I want to reach there, I can make a direct straight path and reach there. Or from that train station, if I want to go there, I can make a straight ramp and it will go there. That is the shortest path. Now, if I use blueprints and if I actually build foundations, I can achieve that. Then the train throughput will be the highest. The trains can travel quickly, the trains can stay at the maximum speed for a longer duration of time and all of that. But now, since I'm using the pathways, it has to curve like a snake basically and travel throughout the biome. So there are pros and cons to this, but yeah, parts of it I'll be using the natural pathways, parts of it I'll put in foundations, use blueprints and make that possible. Yeah, and here it'll go through that cave over there, and through that cave I think there are uranium nodes and stuff inside over there, so I have put it over there. And from here it again splits off into multiple places. So into this direction I think there is quartz, in that direction there is like oil and stuff. It goes into the oil biome over here. So yeah, so it keeps splitting wherever necessary, and this way I want to connect my entire world to my rail system. Honestly, I wanted to achieve that during this video itself, but I spent more than a week just making this, but I could not complete it. So yeah, unfortunately, but I had so much fun making this, and honestly I think it looks cool. I also put in lights and stuff. So, and I have also made it so that, so let's see. Yeah. So it turns on during night time, so it looks nice. I put these lights over here along these pillars, so it looks majestic during night time and it looks imposing. So it's nice. And then at the beginning of all the train station, there are these floodlights to illuminate everything. So even that looks nice. So everything is nice. I really like it. So with that being said, the train station is complete, and the most hectic work is done. Now it's just, I'll just expand this rail network whenever I need a specific resource to bring in, then I'll make it. But the next thing that I'll start working on is actual space elevator factory. Um, so I'll just focus on individual parts from now on. So if I come here, there is this thermal propulsion rocket which I need to focus on. Then there's this magnetic field generator, um, fused modular frames. Wait, no, not fused modular frames. Um, I think there's assembly director system. Yeah, and then there is this um, another space elevator part which I have not unlocked yet. So I will be unlocking it now in my next video at least. And yeah, I'll be working on those four. But first, I'll start with the easiest space elevator factory and complete that. Um, Bring in resources, automate that, and then move on to the next space elevator factory. So like that, I will complete everything for phase 4. I will automate every single part, and I will automatically feed this into the space elevator over here. By the way, I constructed this sort of like platform using this boulder over here, or like cliff, and it's looking nice. And the pathways are in this direction and this direction as of now. I don't know, I might move it to the left, to the right, something like that based on where how I will automatically feed that. But yeah, but for now it's like that. And that is its permanent place. I won't be moving it from there. I might just rotate it, but I won't be moving it. So yeah, so that's looking nice. And then the final bits, there are parts of the blueprints that I did, but I did not completely automate this, like every single part, because of some issues with this. So here I have made 3 different blueprints. One is a straight section, which just connects a straight section like thing, and then one is incline like this, right? You can just attach it to the attach it over there in order to go in upward direction, and similarly there is a decline, and you can attach that. Now if you see that I have only done this like 2 tiles, I have not done it all the way to the 4 tiles. And for example, if I try to do this, right, and if I have this in 4 tiles, you will think, okay, then even this will have 4 tiles and it will be connected. Wrong. That's a major mistake that I did in early access, which I did not do now. So each blueprint is an individual entity. So when you make this blueprint to have something like this, and the next blueprint will also have that inbuilt, but those 2 rails will not be connected when you build it through a blueprint. So you will have to remove that, like delete that, and you will have to manually connect that once you build in the blueprint. That's the reason I built all the blueprints like this, so that I can just manually connect it like this, like these, once I completely set up the blueprints. That's fine. That's a little bit of work, but it's not as much work as before. And the other advantage of making blueprints like this is that every two tiles, I have the option of putting the signal. Signals can easily be put at the ends of the junction over here, like over there. Whenever there's a connection, you can put a signal like this easily, and it will just attach to that. So now I will have a lot more flexibility to put those path signals or block signals wherever I want. So with that, these blueprints are working really well. And I use this blueprint to make some of the stuff. Honestly, I did not have too much space where I could use this, but I will be using this in the future though. So that's the reason I made these blueprints. These blueprints are ready now. And whenever I am trying to expand my rail system throughout the world and I want to use like foundations to make rail systems, then I will be using my blueprints. So yeah, these are not complex blueprints, just simple ones, but it works. So yeah, so with that being said, oh yes, there is one last bit of information which I forgot to mention. All these train stations are connected, the outputs are connected, and it's all connected to these individual bins over here, and all of these bins are connected to these outputs. So every single one over here, like this belt and this belt, belongs to one freight platform, which is all the way over there, that one. So that freight platform comes all the way over here. So similarly, the next one, the next freight platform will come over here, then the next one, then the next one, and then the last one. And I have put in these display signs and I will put the appropriate material when I bring it in. But for now, it's all like iron, iron ingots. It's fine. But everything is connected. I don't have to worry about anything. All I need to worry about is just set up the rail system. It will bring in, and from here I'll just pull the required materials wherever needed, and I'll automate the factory. So yeah, and that's the same with these 5 train stations. So yep, this is my final train station, my main important train station, and I'm really happy how it turned out. My world is slowly becoming so much more busier than I thought, and I'm really happy about it. So with that being said, in the next video, I would have automated at least one space elevator part, and I'll be bringing in the required materials, and I'll actually be building and automating one space elevator part. With that, thank you everyone. See you guys in my next video. Bye.